I'm going to be pricing up an oil tank base 9-inch walls on a slab, and I will be using the Renovations and Alterations module designed especially for this task to show you how fast, easy and accurate pricing up this type of work can be. Before I can start my pricing, I do need to bring the module into my pricing sheet. So I'll click on the letter O, then in the drop-down I will select Oil Tank Base 9-inch walls on slab, and the module is brought in. Here at the top of the pricing sheet, I can see that there are some red cells. These do need to be filled in so the module can perform its calculations. I could enter the information directly into the red cells, but I will use the helpful diagrams instead. I'll begin with my wall measurements. I will now enter the length of wall, 1.1 linear metres. And the height of wall, 0.9 linear metres. As you can see, these numbers now are in the corresponding red cell. I will enter the number of walls I am doing into the cell here. This is 2. Now I will put in the measurements for my slab. Again, I will use the diagram and click on the thumbnail picture here to the right. The slab length is 2 linear metres, the width 1.3 linear metres, and the depth is 0.125 linear metres. I'll click Enter Details and the measurements are instantly put into the red cells. Now I have entered this information, I can see that my oil tank base 9-inch walls on slab is all worked out. Many calculations have been performed and my pricing sheet now contains a lot of information. Let's take a closer look. I can see that the excavation is based on using a 1-ton excavator. The hours for this are highlighted in yellow to draw your attention to them, as they may need your judgment, as the programme cannot know the ground conditions or what type of access you have. If you believe this will take you more or less time, then you can click on the question mark and alter it to match your requirements. My shuttering is calculated. I can see how many linear metres I'll need, how long it's going to take, and how much the labour will cost. If I want to alter any of the finer details, I can click on the question mark and use the diagram to change the shuttering to my exact requirements. I can also choose a different material here in the drop-down. I will be using the 22 by 150mm treated sawn, but if you want something different, you can change this if you wish. It's exactly the same for my stakes. I can click on the question mark and alter the distance that I will set my stakes at. This will instantly update the pricing sheet by altering the amount I will require, and therefore the cost and hours allowed. I will be leaving this as it is, but you can change this here on the pricing sheet for this individual job, or in your master copy. If you make the adjustment in your master copy, then every time you use this module, it will be set to your preferred method. The aggregates for my base are here. I'll need 1 ton of ballast for this job. Next I have the concrete and the labour for the concreting. As this is such a small amount, I will be mixing by hand, as this is much more cost effective than bringing in a lorry. The hours for this are highlighted in yellow. As I mentioned earlier, this is to draw your attention to them, as it may need your judgment. Here I have my mixer. If you're going to use a different type, then you can alter this here, in the drop-down menu. The sand, cement and plasticizer for my walls are shown here. You can fine-tune the details for any of these items by clicking on the red question mark. For example, you may wish to alter the sand to cement mix ratio. If you do, you can change it directly in the picture, and the pricing sheet will instantly adjust to match your requirements. I won't be using any lime in my mortar, but if you are, you can just enter the number of bags you'll need here, in the blue cell. Finally, I have my waste disposal. I won't be using an 8-yard skip, so I will change this. You can click on the question mark to change it, but I'll be using the drop-down menu like this. I will select 0.18 yard rubble sacks, as there will not be a lot of waste. The cost automatically changes to reflect my choice. My oil tank 9-inch brick walls on slab is priced. By entering the numbers in the red cells at the top of the screen, all of my costs are calculated, and I can see the totals for my plant, materials, hours and labour here along the bottom.